What follows is a story of tit for tat, the predictable cycles of violence. Jeff and George found themselves quite upset with each other. The reasons for their conflict are simple, but also profound. In a simple way, Jeff wore a gray tie and George wore a red tie. More profoundly, their chosen neckties represented long-time differences. Each thought of the other as the them that is wrecking the world. In our first scene, we see that the gray ties and the red ties are holding signs against each other. While nothing is being discussed on the signs, it is clear that each is against the other. Againstness tends to escalate. When one is deeply convinced of the stupidity, the error, or the depravity of the other, againstness grows into hatred. Now Jeff and George have moved toward one another. It is no longer a fight of words, but words that led to action. Notice that they have moved into close proximity with the other. All violence begins by invading the sovereign space of another. Our next scene could be titled The Assassination of Franz Ferdinand, or The Shot Heard Round the World. A Virginia secessionist, Edmund Ruffin, claimed to have fired the first shot of the Civil War. All wars begin with a first shot. In our story, it was Jeff who landed the first blow, and George who took it on the chin. Now Jeff turns toward the camera to exult in his victory over his foe. If we were to pause on this scene, we would recognize ourselves in it. After any successful war, the victors feel vindicated and validated. As it is commonly said, history is written by the winners. Whatever the gray ties were for, now seems to be legitimized by their conquest. But alas, defeated enemies tend to rise again. And unless otherwise interrupted, they tend to envision retribution or revenge. Here, George conceives of a technology that will make his revenge all the more convincing. The escalation of weapons throughout history is a dark commentary on the hopes of mankind. Essentially, the victors of history are the ones who've been able to find bigger and better ways of killing those who our collective hate has landed upon. And in this scene, it is a mere automatopoeia, blam, that tells the story. And so, the escalation continues. The gray ties are out in full force now. They've obviously organized themselves. Notice that their propaganda is even more devilish. It is now the march of revenge. One gray tie may not even know what they're there for, just that they need the blood of the red ties. Now we skip a couple of predictable scenes of escalation and conclude our story in the war room of the red ties. In this PowerPoint presentation, the fallen hearts of mankind are on display. Mankind's murderous ways have joined with their God-given creativity and ingenuity, and have developed a weapon that makes the world stand still. Tit for tat.